Hey everyone, it's Trish here again, and I'm back with another project for my Fall 2014 series. Today I'm featuring a bunch of products from Lawn Fawn that I am absolutely loving right now. This little black bag is the Lawn Fawn Goodie Bag die, and it is perfect for Halloween, for any treats. Even for parties, like little goodie bags, this thing would be really awesome. So I've die cut 2 panels. You'll need 2 panels to create the goodie bag from some black cardstock. And what I've done is I've prepped one of the front of the bags with my anti-static tool from Inkadinkado, just to prevent any additional sticking, because I am going to be heat embossing this. I'm also using the Argyle backdrop stamp set from Lawn Fawn. It's one of their other brand new items that came out just recently. And I'm using Versamark to ink up that stitched lines, and I'm heat embossing it with some of the Zing neon purple embossing powder that I think was very fitting for Halloween. So once I've gone ahead and stamped that and used the embossing powder, I've heat set it. And now I'm just using my score tool to score on all of the crease lines that the die creates to assemble the goodie bag. And so once I've creased it all, you'll see that I'm going to be using my tape runner, and I'm going to be using it on the center bottom panel to attach the actual bottom of the bag, and then along these 2 narrow panels on either side, which creates the side of the bags. And I'm just using some regular snail adhesive. Some people like to use liquid, but for me, I feel like I always have trouble with liquid adhesive and it oozes everywhere, so I like to use tape runner. So I'm just lining up the sides with the edge there to really create the goodie bag and make sure that it's all lined up. So you'll see here that I'm going to use my bone folder inside the goodie bag just along those edges. That way it really creates a solid bond. And right there I'm just pinching the sides along the creases that are created just to create the finished bag look. It's really, really super cute. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this jack-o'-lantern pumpkin from this Spooktacular stamp set, also from Lawn Fawn. I told you I'm obsessed with their new release. I think I got just about every new item that they came out with. And I'm just using a couple different colors of Copics. I'm using the YR07 as well as the YR04. The 04 I've used first, and then the 07 I'm just creating a little bit of shading at the top and bottom. Then I went back with the 04 to color the whole thing. I'm using N7 just to color in the eyes and the cutout mouth. And then I'm going to be using YG57 just to color in the stump of the pumpkin. And then I'm also going to be using the dies that coordinate with the stamp set, and I'm going to be lining it up with a pumpkin and cutting it out because it is just perfect and way easier than fussy cutting it. So yeah, then I'm going to move on to the front of the goodie bag, and this I was kind of throwing around a whole bunch of ideas, and I ended up editing a ton of the video out because I wasn't sure how I wanted to create it, but I came up with this idea about cutting a small strip of green cardstock. It's only about 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches wide, and I'm lining it up right at the top of the goodie bag because what I want to do is I want it to fit perfectly along with the goodie bag so that I can adhere it, and the top scalloped part of the die of the goodie bag as well as the stitched handle part will match perfectly. So I was like, oh, it just creates a perfect tag that I can attach, and it matches so well with the goodie bag because it has the same top as well as the stitch around the handle, just like you'll see there. So I was like, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pumpkin that I've already colored, and I'm also using the Happy Halloween sentiment that is coming from the Spooktacular stamp set as well. And I'm just going to stamp that with my Memento Tuxedo black ink so that way it matches exactly with the pumpkin because I used that before coloring with my Copics. So I have that all lined up, and I'm looking at it, and it's just a little too plain for me. Oh, and I'm also going to attach the pumpkin with some foam adhesive, but I'm not going to do that quite yet because as I sit and I look at this little tag, I'm deciding that it's just too plain and it needs a little something. So I'm going back to the Spooktacular stamp set. I'm taking off 3 of the smaller stars that they have on there. I believe 1 is solid and 2 of them are just outlines of the stars. And I'm mounting them onto my acrylic block in just a random fashion, and I'm going to stamp with some Versamark ink again, and I'm just going to stamp these over and over on this tag to kind of create a little background and a little bit more interest onto the tag. And I really like how this came out. Sometimes I like to do tone on tone, but every once in a while I like to create just that watermark look, and the Versamark works perfect for this. So like I said, I'm just stamping these stars repeatedly, no specific order, just randomly all over this little tag piece to create some more interest, and I really like how it came out. And it's really easy to do, especially when you have all 3 mounted on that way. You can just keep rotating the block so you create this different pattern all around, and if you need to fill in a certain areas, you just re-ink one of the star stamps and stamp it wherever you need to. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to create a flag end at the bottom of this little tag. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach it with some snail adhesive again. And I'm going to use, as you already saw, some foam adhesive on the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin to attach it to this little tag. Now, of course, I needed just a little something extra because I just don't know when to stop. So you'll see here in a minute that I'm using the spooky hemp cord that was also just released from Lawn Fawn, of course. And I'm going to be tying a little bow on this bag. Now, I was thinking about going through the handle and over the top, but I just didn't like how it looked. So I'm just using, I believe it's a 1/16 hole punch. This one happens to be from Martha Stewart. I've had it for years. And I'm just punching 2 really small holes side by side, just enough to feed the this twine through, and I'm going to create a little bow right there along the side, and I really feel like it is just the perfect finishing touch for this goodie bag. I really like this twine from Lawn Fawn because it is a little bit stiffer than your average baker's twine, which I really like because it's easier to mold and it really holds a bow really, really well. Like the loops just look beautiful. So it came out really, really nice. And so at this point, I thought I was totally done with the goodie bag. You'll see me go ahead and zoom in and show you the final product. And then I said, oh my God, this needs some kind of sparkle. So, of course, I went with my Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen, and I'm just applying that to the jack-o'-lantern. And that completes this goodie bag. I really like how it turned out. I'm thinking I might make this for my daughters, all the kids in my daughter's class to fill with some candy. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this project. Be sure to head over to my blog for a list of supplies used on this project, and I'll be back soon with another project for the Fall 2014 series. Until then, I'll see you guys soon.